Okay, Chapter 18, Calculations for Dispensing Fees, Copays, Difference Pricing. After you've read through this chapter and done the practice exercises, the student should be able to define the term dispensing fee, describe how copays are determined, define the term difference pricing, and describe why some patients would be required to pay difference pricing. Now, I noticed as I went through this chapter, I actually found several errors in what they had done here. And just for example, that is on page 142. The first example says, what is the copay for a prescription of K-Flex brand name 500 milligram? Number 20, if the brand name is specified by the patient, the copayment amount is $15. The cost of K-Flex 500 milligram, number 20, is $53.66. Down in the example, they have that brand name as $153.66 instead of just 53. Okay, so I'll use the 153 as the example. But they've made a couple errors, and I noticed they did that in the practice exercises as well too. And I'll tell you those answers to those. And the cost of the Cephalexin 500 number 20 is $3.50. So what we're doing here is we're taking the difference between the brand name and the generic name. So again, this example, our brand name is going to be 153.66. In the question, they say 53. That is an error in the book, so I'm just going to go by the 153.66 for the brand name. The generic was $3.50. So what we do is we just subtract those two, and the difference between them is $150.16, and then we add the copay, which is $15 to that. Okay, when you add the copayment to that, you should get $162.15. Okay, so now just to give you a few examples, and the reason I'm going to do a few of them that are a little bit odd at first. Number one, it says, what is the copay for a prescription of hydrochlorothiazide 25 milligram, number 30, if the copay is $5, and the usual and customary price for hydrochlorothiazide 25 milligram, number 30, is $6.09. Okay, they are not asking for a brand name price in this one. Is to get a difference in it. So the generic is going to be the $5 copay as listed. Okay, so I didn't want anybody to get confused on that one because you're not even doing a formula on that one. The copay, it tells you up front that the copay for the generic is $5. They're not asking for a difference between the brand and the generic, so it would be just $5. So we don't actually have to do that question. Number two, of course, this says, what is the copay for a prescription of Diabeta 5 milligram, number 30? If the brand name is specified by the patient, the copayment amount is $7. So we know that the copay is $7, and we're going to add it to the difference between the brand and the generic. So your Diabeta 5 milligram, number 30, that's the brand name, is $47.10. And the cost is, the glyburide is the generic. It's going to be $3.64. Okay. So again, all we're going to do is take the difference between the two. $47.10 minus $3.64. You get $43.46. Add your $7 copayment, and your difference is $50.46. Number three, what is the copay for a prescription of Medrol 4 milligrams, number 20, if the brand name is specified by the patient? The copayment is $3. So we have our $3. We'll add the difference between the brand and the generic. So your brand name is the cost of the Delta Zone, which is capitalized with the D, so we know it's the brand name, number 20, is $36.08. And we're going to minus the generic. So the generic cost is $19.67, and that's your methylprednisone. So we subtract 3608 from 1967. We get 1641. We're going to add our $3 to there, and we get 1941. Okay. Number 4 is a little bit different than those because it's not giving us a set amount. It's telling us that the copay is 20%. Okay. So first find your brand and your generic. So what is the copay for a prescription of Flagyl 250 milligram number 30 if the plan requires generic substitution and the copayment is 20% of the usual and customary price? The usual and the customary price for metronidazole, which is the generic, is $12.08, and the usual and customary price for Flagyl, which is 250 milligram, is $176.50. So the $176.50, the Flagyl, is the brand name. You're going to subtract the generic 12.08. Okay, but we need, but you're wanting to, you're only going to have 20%. So to get the 20%, you get 20%. You take 20% of the brand name. So to get the dollar amount, it'd be 176.50 over here times 0.20 because it's 20% will be 0.20, and you get 35.30. Okay, so then you take 176.50 minus 12.08 and you get 164.42. Then you're going to add your 35.30 to that and you get 199.72. Okay. In your book it says 92 cents, so that's an error in the book, but it's $199.72. Number 5, this one, it tells you what is the copay for a prescription of aldoptone 25 milligram if the copay is $5 for a generic and $10 for the brand name, and the usual and customary price for this generic, which is your spironolactone 25 milligram, is $12.08. But it says there is no requirement for generic substitution, so that means it doesn't matter if they get generic or brand. So since there is no requirement for generic substitution, that means they can get whichever one they want. If they get the brand, then they're just going to pay the brand copay, which is $10. Okay, so that one you actually don't have to do the formula for. All of the other ones, you have to do this formula, the same formula with it. And I'll do number one more, and then I'll tell you where the errors are in the other ones. So on page 144, okay, it's number 6. What is the copay for a prescription of brand name Percocet if there is no DAW, dispensed as written, on the prescription, but the patient wants to pay the difference pricing for the brand name? The copay is $5. So we're going to add that $5 to the differences. The cost of Percocet is, the brand name is $298.40. The cost of the generic is $13.40. So then you just take your $298.40 minus your $13.40 and you get $285. Then you're going to add your $5 to that. You get $290. Okay. So all the other formulas are going to be very basically easy like this one. Okay. Next, I want to tell you the errors. On number 7 in the back of the book, it says just $290 even. The answer is not that. It's $290.40. Okay, so as you're working through these problems, I wanted you to know these errors. Number 10, the answer in the back is not correct. And what they did, again, they just made a little small error on that one. They have $190.50, and it's actually $190.30. And if y'all catch some that I didn't, just let me know. Number 13, the back of the book says $722.30. And they just have a misprint here, and it's $700 actually and $12.30. Number 14, and some of these I can figure up what they did. Sometimes they put error on which numbers they put down. Sometimes they just, I think, calculate wrong. But this one, it says 14.90, and I can't figure out what they did on this one, but it's wrong. 14.90 and 10 cents is wrong. Okay, it's actually 14, 40, 10. Okay, next error that I found was on number 24. And they actually, instead of using 490, they punched in 490 when they did their calculation. So some of them I could figure out what they did wrong. But number 24 is they have $171.50 and is actually 131.50. And if I've made any errors, let me know too as well. So as you're going through those practice problems, I just want you to be aware of those so you knew what you was doing right, so you know if you got the right answer or not. Okay. So just work through those, and if you have any questions or concerns, just send me an email. I'll be glad to go over them during my office hours with you, or schedule. If several people have questions, I'll schedule a day for everybody to come in and we go over it. So just send me an email if you have any questions.